Morning traders, we're on the dailies on the Euro Yen this morning. Time is 10 to 9. As usual, looking at our higher time frame analysis, I'm going to take you through to the lower time frame and a strategy that I use where we're looking at a violation and simply just playing the violation. And here on the daily time frame, what we did here, first of all, we had a 3-point move making a new structure low, and then since then we retraced, and to be honest, since then we're just kind of consolidating within this zone. So on the dailies there's not really a great deal I'm looking at. This is just really consolidation for me. We're in the middle of nowhere. We drop down to the 240. This is what I want to show you now. If I put a structure line in here, you will see that we have tested, this was resistance, resistance, resistance. We didn't quite hit that line, but it's very close. Resistance, support, resistance, resistance. So we have a major level of structure here. Now, what I like to see is this. Look at this candle here. Look at this bullish move that we've had. And this closed above all these previous highs, above this previous high, all along here. So this is a violation, and with a violation, when I see this lovely bullish move, the first thing I'm looking for is the market coming back in to this zone. Now this zone can be from the top of the wick down to the candle lows, okay, but because of risk to reward, I would be looking for the market to come into this zone, okay. And if I drop down the time frame, you'll actually see what I'm looking at. Here on the 60, you can see that the RSI, we went overbought at about 90 here. We retraced and we've come down and tested this zone. Now this is just a violation. There's no trend here for me, but what I'm looking for is the market to put in this retracement and then put in a higher high, higher close. And this is just a simple strategy that I use, and I only use it when we have a violation of major structure. So when structure has been tested at least 3 times, and as I've just shown you there, we have had countless tests, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of this area. So major structure, we've had this very bullish move. We're seeing the retracement into my kill zone, and if we get a higher high, higher close here, I will enter. So let's say we get the higher high, higher close up here. I'll enter, what's the ATR here? 16, okay. I'm not even going to be an ATR below the lows. I'm going to be 10 pips below the lows here. So that's going to put me on 128.44s. So that's going to give me that. And what I'm looking for is the market to simply continue to retest the highs and then continue upwards. So target ones are going to be there. We're going to want to make that green. There it is. So again, the stop may change depending where we get our entry. So 31 pips of risk for 33 pips of reward. However, we can, because we have tested 1, 2, 3, 4, major resistance becomes for me major support, and we could see a continuation here. Where could we see that continuation to? Well, let's first of all remove off those. I'm going to go back to the 60. I'm going to put on a fib, swing high to swing low, and I would be looking at this 127 zone. Now where does that 127 zone come in at? Well, it comes in at this level, this level, this zone here as well. So a good area there to take profits at, and at the 127. And I'm sure you guys that trade advanced patterns, you may have already seen this. We have a back pattern Back pattern's complete at the 886. 886 is up there. However, I want to be out that market before then. I want to be out at the structure zone. Even though we have this advanced pattern, the pattern is not valid until it completes. Therefore, you cannot assume that price action is going to go and hit the 886. So instead, I'm using structure and the 127 as my target. So just delete that off. And that means that secondary targets are going to look like this, and as you can see, they look quite tasty. I'm going to drop back down to the 15 just so that we can see that a little better. Did I not just make that yellow? I must have made that line yellow. Let me change that back to yellow. Okay, so to reconfirm, target 2s 59, target 1s 35, the potential risk 30. I have a very high success rate trading this strategy. Very simple. I can only do it once we've reached major structure, and that's tested 3 times. I can only do it when we have a very directional move. You can clearly see we've had it, and I can only enter once we're retraced into my kill zone, and I do get that higher high, higher close. Very high probability trade for me. I have around a 55% win rate on this. Typically only get a 1-to-1 on the first targets, but you know, look at what price has done. This bullish candle here says to me that there was an awful lot of buyers here, and since we've violated major structure, we could see a continuation of that up to this zone. Yep. So that's what I'll be playing for if we get that higher high, higher close. If we come a little bit lower into this kill zone, that will be even better. And then I get a higher high, higher close. That will give me something like a 1, 2, or 1.5 to target 1s. Even better for me. So I'll pause the video and we'll come back and see how this trade plays out if we get filled. Hello traders, I'm back. I've actually had to do the second part of this video again because I recorded the second part with the mic muted. So you would have had me waffling on for about 4 minutes, and you would have heard absolutely nothing. And soon as that video, the first part ended, 4 minutes later I came back on because we saw that initial rally that I told you about. And if I just move across to the right, you'll see that we came up and hit target 1s. And we were starting to, well, it was looking like we were going to put in a new structure high here, and boom, for some reason, who knows, the market came down and stopped me out for break even. So only target 1s on this trade. I do expect the market to continue up to secondary targets. Here's the market now. The reason being is quite simply because we've had that violation and an initial violation above major structure, and I do expect the market to continue upwards. But in this instance, we only got target 1s, which is a real shame because that was a classic trade for me. If I can get that trade set up every single day, I will quite happily take it because it has a very good win rate and usually a very good risk to reward and a very good chance of second targets being hit. Nevertheless, there we go. That's a strategy I trade. Very simple but very effective.